We've tried starting this episode 3 times now.
3 different times, and each conversation it just got worse and worse and worse.
All about Andrew's bathroom habits.
Well, it wasn't even about my bathroom. I mean, the last episode was about my bathroom habits, but it was just because I was letting you know that I was experiencing stomach sensitivities during this episode.
Yes, and I think that's a normal thing that a podcaster announces to their listeners before they begin the episode.
But I think that the listeners would like to know how we are doing in the current moment. So if they know during this entire episode that there's rumblings in my stomach, they might be able to like put 2 and 2 together. You know, if like maybe I'm burping a little, maybe I'm feeling something. I think I put it really lightly that time, stomach sensitivity.
This time you did, and I'm very happy because it was brought to a place of crab boil 7 minutes ago.
It was brought to a spicy crab boil, I was explaining. And it had nothing to do with the fact that I've eaten crabs or had a boil recently. But I'm going to leave it there because I'm recognizing after Joe made a comment that I shouldn't be always telling people what's going on down there.
That's not what I said. You come to me pretty frequently. I hear you say how much you regret the things you've said on this podcast.
Yeah.
You say it a lot. You say, I wish I didn't say that. I wish I didn't say that. You'll listen back.
It weighs me down.
Oh, wait. So all I said was, are you sure you want to start the episode by talking about a spicy seafood crab boil?
Am I ever too sure? Can I ever be too sure?
No, you can't be, I guess.
I can never be too sure. And when the camera starts rolling, sometimes I start saying things that I didn't even mean to say. It's just comfort.
Yeah.
That's the pure bliss of friendship. Because you can sit on a couch together and you could have deep conversations about politics. You can have deep conversations about like your day to day, but you can also sit in silence. And that
you
is
can also sit in rumbly tumblies.
Rumbly tumblies. And that duality of friendship is incredible. So that's what we have together. So when you bring that out in me, I feel extremely comfortable to just explain what's going on in the basement floor.
And it's really surprising that I do anything that makes you feel comfortable. So that's really nice to hear. And that makes me happy to hear.
That's actually really amazing takeaway. And I think that like, if you're feeling that way with your friends, sometimes you just need to say like, what I say in front of you makes me feel really comfortable. They're not hearing that enough.
And even if the friend feels uncomfortable with what you're saying, even if that friend opens their bedroom door and the first thing that other friend says to them is how they were shitting all night, and that makes that friend uncomfortable, as long as one person's comfortable in the situation.
And if that other friend is asking you when they get out of their room, why do you look like that? And you explain to them the reason that you do look like that, but just like you're so open and transparent because you're so comfortable with them as a friend. So you say like, I was shitting all night and that's why I look like this. Like that is what's beautiful in friendship.
But and sometimes if a friend says to you, why do you look like that? Because you're bent over in front of a pill box.
Yeah.
Looking really flush and fatigued and mouth dropped, looking slack-jawed and sick. Yeah. You can say, I don't feel well.
Yeah. And when your friend asks you, like, why are you taking those beef liver pills? Like, you can just tell them, like, I don't know, like, they're for nutrients, so don't even worry about it. And, like, your friend probably will be like, okay, don't. Like, that's so fine.
Or if your friend is saying that they're suffering from disgusting burps, and they're suffering from very destructive bathroom habits, and then you watch them take 6 beef liver pills a day, despite them not really knowing why they're taking them or what they could have potentially be doing to their body. Maybe sometimes as a friend you want to intervene.
Yes. And I think that as a friend, like having someone who could intervene for you is really special. It's really, really special. And I also think like as a friend, like you can recognize that like that person is doing their thing. You know what I mean? And if beef liver pills gets them through the day.
But but sometimes as a friend, it feels like sometimes as a friend, maybe that thing is actually not getting them through the day. And actually in some ways, like sometimes that very same friend can say, I refuse to record a podcast episode with you until you eat lunch.
Yes.
And in some ways that's very similar to saying maybe you should stop taking beef liver pills.
You're right, because as friends, we care about the other person.
Yes.
So I can see you're wrapping it up there. Like the friend who cares about the other eating before an episode for energy's sake is caring about that person. But the other friend from the other side who's making comments about the beef liver pills when that person's looking sickly, you also are showing some sort of care.
Maybe the beef liver pills that are unregulated from a doctor could be something that isn't great for you.
Wow.
Whoa.
And that's friendship.
That's what friendship is all about. Don't bring that shit back out. A patron messaged us and said that all we're missing for our intro is a tuner. Whatever and
from Pitch Perfect.
We got one. And let me tell you, it's been there's a lot of things floating, but continue.
We're not tuning anything. I'll just tell you something, because we might have a tuner.
We're not tuning. We're not toning.
No. Oh, I'm certainly not toning.
But some of us are tooting.
We're tooting and turning. That's all I'm going to say. But I have this tuner, and I'm not really sure the notes that we're supposed to be hitting here. So we're just going to choose 2 random notes today until somebody actually tells us who can show their certification. I think that's what it is. I want to
see a certification.
I need to see a certification. And I need like
a certification.
Certification, and I would say preferably leaning high school music teacher.
Yeah, if you're a high school music teacher or theater director, we'll take that.
Yeah, we'll take that.
Acapella leader, group leader.
A collegiate acapella group leader in the, like, I would have to say, I'm sorry, top 20.
Yeah, in the nation.
Yeah, in the nation.
Yeah.
If you are an Ivy League collegiate acapella group leader, let us know, because we definitely need your help.
Now I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Is there a reason, are the Ivy League acapellas better?
Just generally speaking, they are, which is interesting.
And why is that?
I don't know if
funds, resources, privilege.
Probably funds, resources, and privilege. You have to think about a lot of the people that are going to Ivies for like specific things, whether that be sports, right? They're getting the people that are the best at that sport, they think. Mm-hmm. With music, these people might coming into the musical theater program that are also like, I'm going to be in the acapella group. So they're turning it out.
Right.
You know? So that's why, like, UPenn, they're slaying it down. Yale.
Is UPenn an Ivy?
Yes, Joe.
News to me.
I could tell you the 7 Ivies off the top of my head if you had a gun to my head. I'd be able to get it out.
I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't.
Dartmouth, Yale, Harvard, UPenn, Princeton, Brown, and Cornell.
I wanted to go to Brown so badly because of Emma Watson. Mm-hmm. Only reason.
Could we have went together?
Yeah.
You know, I got waitlisted. That was the only school I got waitlisted to.
I wanted to go so badly because of Emma Watson.
You would have been a different person. Actually, no, you wouldn't.
I think I would have ended up the same.
You would have ended up exactly the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would be like a women's studies and like Western literature major, I think. But I think ultimately everything else.
Because you get to choose there. You get to make up your degree.
And I did that. And Hofstra anyway. And what's the real difference between Brown and Hofstra University when you really think about it?
Just acceptance rate, honestly. That's it. Because I would say like clientele probably similar. Probably intellect is very similar.
Yeah, look at that.
But acapella groups lacking.
Yeah.
I don't know about the Hofstra Pride.
I don't know about the Hofstra Pride, period.
If I had to guess what their acapella group would be called, it's probably like the pitchy prides, the pitch pride.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Prideful pitchers.
But back to this. So I'm gonna just choose 2 different notes today, and I don't really know how a lot of this works, shockingly. So we're gonna go for an F. Let's just hear it. That seems about right. Now we're going to see what G sounds like with that.
I fucked it up.
Good children.
And that was this week.
Well,
that was this week.
And I don't know if those 2 notes go perfectly together, but
you know what, they definitely do in like spaces of Gregorian environments.
Yeah.
I feel like in chapels.
Yes.
In monasteries, those 2 notes definitely go together. And you know what? Today, like we're filming this, actually, it's a pretty tough day globally. The Pope's dead. So maybe we did that in his honor.
The Pope is dead.
In Frankie's honor.
In Frankie's honor. And like, and all respect. Well, no, I'm sorry. Like, it's for Frankie. Like he lived the life he wanted.
Uh-huh.
And the length was long.
Do you know how old he was?
From his face, I can only say about 93.
People would say that about us too.
Yes. People were saying that about us 2 weeks into the podcast.
Yeah.
They were saying those two, they can't be 26.
No,
they got to be at least 43.
Yeah.
At this point, someone told me, by someone, I'm saying my 5-year-old niece told me yesterday. Mm-hmm. I don't look a day over 19.
Your 5-year-old niece said that?
Yes.
Okay.
She was in disbelief when I told her I was turning 29. And I know what you're thinking. Yeah, she's 5.
Yeah.
But for me, what I'm thinking is she's been around a lot of people. And she's looking at me in the face and saying 19.
That's pretty big.
It's because I'm young.
Yeah.
And another year can't bring me down.
No, you're only 10 years older than that. I'm Joe Hegyes.
And I'm Thee Muscarella.
And this is
Good Children. We spent the past 24 years growing together.
And now it's time for us to grow up.
Yeah.
Yeah, so isn't it crazy? Does it ever drive you crazy, just to ask, just how fast you go from 19 to 29? Because that's crazy.
Like, what was I doing at 19 years old?
College,
I was a
girl.
sophomore in college.
Yeah.
Like, I was living my life. That was the year I decided, speaking of acapella, to quit
join
lacrosse and join the acapella group. I was really thinking about this, Joe.
Remember when you drove the bus?
When I drove the bus for the lacrosse team, I was really thinking about this. I was having a conversation with somebody, and it was like, oh, yeah, in college, like, I played sports. Like, what do you mean? I can't even think about that. Like, a 19-year-old, a 20-year-old playing sports? I should have been sucking dick at 16.
I'm sorry.
What?
What did any of that mean? What was the correlation there?
I guess, like, I was saying that, like, the sports and the gayness, yeah, there was no correlation. It kind of was like,
you were just thinking, in college I played sports. I'm sorry. I should have been sucking dick at 16.
Whoa, that was kind of like maybe a brain lapse situation.
Well, I just maybe there's something there, but I feel like maybe I'm missing that.
Well, I just think by the time I was 18, I should have been a little bit like more leaning into the gayness. Like, if I was to go into college and say, fuck it, like, I'm going to do theater, that would have been amazing.
Yeah,
but I said,
sure,
fuck it, let's keep it going.
Yeah.
And that's crazy to think. 10 years later, look at me now. I'm keeping it going.
With the gay thing?
Yeah, with that gay thing.
Yeah, you definitely have leaned into the gay thing, I would say.
Well,
specifically the sucking dick thing, I feel like that's become a big priority.
No, I wouldn't say it's become a big priority. You know, I can't get it. I'm not going to get it. Joe, did you get me a cake? Oh, God.
You guys, do you see what it says? It's from PopMart. It's not a blind box, so it's not even worth unboxing on camera, but it is
Are those Have-A-Seats?
No, this is a Crybaby, the cherries. I already have one. These are for Ross.
There's something that's going on. There's something that's going on with Joe, and I know that this is like a thing for a lot of people. And since you brought it up to me,
you've been noticing?
I've been now taking note of everyone's bag who has a Labubu or a Lafufu, and I think I'm actually at a point where I can almost clock the tea, and I'm like, you got that at City Fresh. And then some people did get it at PopMart. Joe is on TikTok lives daily, like it's the casino. Like, he is at the Wynn Casino in Las Vegas.
Yes, the Wynn specifically.
The Wynn.
And listen, I get a win. I need a win.
You need a win.
Yeah, I'm getting a win.
The reason I say Wynn is because that tends to be almost like a top one of the like the more fancy ones. Like you're spending.
Yeah.
Again, Joe can do whatever he wants to do. If that's what makes him happy, that's what makes him happy. And I recognize this. I said to myself, I was like, you know what? This is just history repeating itself. It went from Webkins to Labubus, but you've always had a through line of loving a stuffed animal, okay?
And let me tell you something. Let me tell you something.
Yes.
Okay. Please to say. Number one is if you, I don't know if did I talk about this in the podcast yet?
Well,
the PopMart TikTok lives are addicting because it is like there's 3 of them that I filter through, all PopMart official, and it's these iconic divas. My favorite, his name is Spencer. He has long nails. He has long nails. He has a boyfriend. And Spencer,
gay?
Yes. Yeah. I love Spencer. I'm obsessed with him. And I just watch these divas sell products, it's literally QVC. Like, it's just like all they do is like sell like, oh, this is a Skull Panda purse, this is a Crybaby cup, this is a Labubu phone charger. And what gets you is not necessarily buying the products, it's the way in which they almost force you into buying it, because they're like, this is going to go like that. And we're going to put the link live in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go, 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 go. And then I am clicking, refreshing, buying the thing. And I'm no millionaire.
No.
I'm no Brand Flakes. I don't have Brand Flakes bucks.
No, you
okay,
don't.
We're not earning the same.
I wish.
You know what I mean?
I literally wish.
It's not like we're not at that point in our
BFBs.
careers. Yeah, we don't have BFBs to spend. So it's a strain.
Yeah.
It's quite frankly a strain. And I can't stop. And the products,
I was going to say, I'm sorry to take back asking if he was gay. I thought for some reason Spencer was a form of PopMart Labubu. I missed the part.
No, Spencer's a real person.
Yeah, so that makes sense. I was shocked that there was a gay Labubu.
Z Momo is gay. Z Momo is gay. Z Momo is the leader of the
has
Labubus.
Come out.
Z Momo is a boy. Labubu is a girl, and Z Momo's boyfriend is Taikoko, who is a skull face. Although I was actually just scrolling TikTok before we started this, and there was a post saying that Labubu's boyfriend was Taikoko, but all I've ever read is that Z Momo's boyfriend is Taikoko. So things are getting weird to me.
Wow. Sometimes it's like nice to be on the outside because it feels like there's a lot that consumes your brain with this universe.
Yeah.
But yeah, Joe's definitely he's definitely buying them. And I want to tell you, from a salesperson's perspective, what you're experiencing is fear of loss.
Yes.
And that is what they are implementing.
Full.
They're saying,
FOL.
This is going to go quick.
And it does.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Like, the Labubus go so fast. Like, obviously, everyone wants one. And I figured out how to get, like, anyone I want now at this point, which is amazing. But sometimes they're like saying to you, the Crybabies are going to go right away. So I buy a Crybaby just because I'm afraid I'm fearing loss. And they stay up for minutes. And I'm like, I didn't have to do this.
No.
I didn't have to do this. I got a second one yesterday. Alice.
Of
Alice in Wonderland. But the thing is, I'm redistributing my wealth. Like, I'm buying these because I love the thrill. But, like, if anyone of my friends needs one, I'm getting them for them. I bought a whole set of the Have a Seats. And it just makes people's lives easier. I'm not turning a profit by any means.
No.
I'm simply just saying, you want one? Venmo me $21.99 and I'll give you a Have a Seat.
And you know what's really nice is like there's the idea of buying these things and just like letting them sit, right? You are taking care of these Labubus, these daughters, like they're your very own
daughters. Yeah.
And it's really amazing because I just think to you, and I would say probably let's say 6 years you'll have a kid. And
I was just thinking probably not, but continue.
Okay. But let's say you have a kid in 6 years. You have fathered, I would say plenty. Upwards of plenty. Let's just say plenty.
Let's just say plenty. Because we don't have to get into snow cone and the shrimp.
No.
And that's,
we don't have to put a number on the things that you like.
Shrimp population boom, by the way. Lots of babies in there. Came home last night. Happy Easter.
Maybe I align a little bit more with a shrimp. Because they're just fucking. Anyways,
today's episode is about Andrew's birthday.
It's actually all about me this episode. Which is so crazy. Yeah, you guys, today is my birthday.
Oh my God,
30th.
April 30th.
So if you're listening to this on April 30th,
open up your phone, go to Andrew's Instagram,
go to my Instagram, like say something sweet or nice to like keep me going another day. One more year until I'm 30, and we all know the lore, the VJL, the Veronica. I'm not gonna go with the last name, but I have.
Yeah.
I have.
Yes.
The Veronica Johnson lore. Listen, like, and again, I would like to sit her down on the podcast as a guest because I would like a different palm reading, or if someone who was gonna read my palm and let me know.
Look at your palms.
You've already done this and you've said it's not looking good.
It looks great.
It looks good. It definitely looks 30s. Like I definitely am going to get to my 30s.
Yeah.
But again, now knowing this is my last year in my 20s, all I can think about is that day in 7th grade or 6th grade. Really crazy. But yeah, it's my birthday. And how do I feel about it? I don't know.
Who cares?
Birthdays aren't really for me, Joe.
I know that you hate them.
I hate them. And what is that? Because I'm somebody who like likes to be with people, but birthdays make me sick.
Well, let's get into it. Should I put in my therapist hat?
Yeah.
Since yours quit?
Let's go.
Okay.
Yeah, since mine's quit.
People were upset about that. Did you see?
I saw.
It's
People
actually
were really
malpractice.
Yeah, people were really upset. And I appreciate that everyone is standing on my side. They were like, it seems like he was doing a lot of work on himself. And then she pulled the rug from right underneath my feet. She pulled
the rug. And speaking of rugs, we have a new rug.
We have a new rug.
A lot of good things are happening and some bad things, like Andrew's therapist stepping down.
I would too.
Sometimes you have to. Sometimes
I would too.
Prioritize.
That final therapy session was, and not to go into depth, was all about body. And I think by the end of it, she was like,
I can't help this kid.
I'm going to need him to,
It's like put on your own oxygen mask before you help someone else. She had to jump ship.
Yeah, she had to jump ship. She said, I can't bear all of this.
Yes. Yeah.
He needs a team.
yes. A full like 24/7 suite. But I feel like I went to 1 to 2 of your birthday parties max as a child.
Yeah.
At the hotel, I think there was one.
There was at the pool.
And I think that I don't remember going to another one. Maybe Adventureland.
I think Adventureland and the pool is really what I remember. I don't think I ever really was like drawn to getting that many people. I know we talked about my birthday that one year where I didn't choose Joe to bring my cupcakes with me.
Whoa, remember that.
Which is so crazy because it's like now I'm just like begging Joe to like probably like
carry my
cupcakes, and like he's saying no, and that makes sense. Like it just is like I should recognize that I didn't do that for him in the 4th grade.
What are you talking about?
I don't know, Joe. We can think about it. You can think about it.
They're going to be commenting saying, "You think they're going to fight again?"
Yes,
all the comments on YouTube.
You think they're going to go? They're about to hit a big fight.
Another episode about this.
Yeah, but with the birthdays, I think that it stresses me out. This is with me with any event actually that is centered around me. What I like to do, like when I go to other people's birthdays or other events that's about them. Obviously, like I'm mingling with different groups of people.
Right.
When I'm the one that's hosting the event, I take on this role of stress where I'm like, I need to make sure that everybody here is having a good time. Like if there was family mixed with friends, makes me sick. I'm like, are my cousins having fun? Are my friends having fun? Like I'm not giving them enough of my time. I think that's where the deep-rooted issues.
But don't you like almost live every single day of your life like that? Like, isn't that kind of how you move through the world?
Is giving my time to others
and worrying that everyone else is having a good time. Isn't that kind of like isn't that your day to day?
Making sure that other people are having a good time.
Yeah.
Well, yes, because I think that my whole thing, and I've talked about this before. I think that in social settings, I want to make sure that everybody else is having a good time. So inherently, I feel comfortable. And when I don't think that people are having a good time, I don't feel comfortable. So that's why at my birthday party, if I'm inviting all these different groups of people and they're not mingling, I'm like, oh my God, I'm fostering an uncomfortable space for people.
And why do you think that is?
I don't know.
Why do you think the groups aren't mingling?
Maybe anxieties that people are feeling. Maybe they don't know that group of people, so they don't feel like inclined to really have conversation. And I know I shouldn't be taking that on for them. But then I'm like, maybe I should bridge the gap. Maybe I should be like, hey, Joe, this is John.
Yeah, well, that's definitely something that I think.
Okay, so I'm going to take that on
standard. This year. Yeah, introducing your friends to each other.
Yeah, introducing my friends to each other. This year, I'm just doing a simple little bar experience. No open, like not a bar minimum. People can come and go. I did it on the earlier end so people can.
It's early as hell.
It's early as hell. I realized that when I sent out the invitation. 7:30 seems pretty early for a Saturday.
I was in disbelief at 7:30.
Yeah, because I wanted to wrap. I wanted to wrap by like 11 because I do want to go out. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like I want to like go dancing or like continue the night. But
why isn't that just the birthday plan then?
Because I can let people come with me if they want to go. You know, I'm seeing my birthday at the bar as a pregame.
Okay, love that.
That's what I'm seeing. Okay. We're going to have cake. There's going to be some food that you can eat there, and we're going to get some drinks. And then once it hits like 10:30, 11, I'm like, okay, guys, let's head to the next place. Whoever's there can come with. Whoever hasn't showed up, they can meet us at the next place.
Love that. Okay.
I'll send out a blast.
Yes, I'm sure you will. Text blast.
A text blast. Yeah, 7:30, because I also can recognize that people have other events, and I want people to show up to whatever event they can show up to at whatever time they can. So that's why I made it earlier. Show up to mine first and go somewhere else. There's about 7, and that's another thing. I don't want to get wrapped up in it, but there's not a lot of people coming this year.
Oh God. How many people have RSVP'd yes?
I mean, there is a good amount of people. I don't want people to listen and be like, "Oh, Andrew's complaining." He's at 27.
Okay.
Good.
That's a good amount of people.
The space holds 60.
Okay.
Comfortable though.
Yes. Yeah. Everyone can do the Macarena.
Yes.
and
yes.
have their own space.
We can do a lot of different group activities and dances.
You should do the thing, the step forward, that how you came out. We should do that in the room.
Step forward if you identify with the LGBTQIA plus community. I think we need to implement that for every single situation.
Yeah.
This is for everybody at home. If you're ever in a situation with a group of people that you don't necessarily know, get everyone to get into a circle.
Is this not a group of your closest friends?
This is a group of my closest friends, but maybe somebody else, maybe I can initiate it for
other people. Icebreakers.
And then, oh my God, we can do a whole different, I would say 10 questions. Step forward if you identify as single. Step forward if you identify as in a relationship, but you're open. So now you're seeing what's around. Maybe that influences.
It's almost like Hot Dog Sunday. You should give out cups, top, bottom, verse, side.
Bottom, verse, side, not interested.
Yeah.
Because some people are not interested.
Yeah.
And I can respect that.
Yes.
I think a different cup for willing to fuck. You know, because some people... DTF. Because some people will say that they're top, bottom, verse, but that night they're not like trying. You know what I mean? Like I might be a top, but like maybe tonight I'm just siding.
Yeah, so then you would get the side cup.
Yeah.
But how does willing to fuck fall into play there?
Because I can identify, I guess it is for that night what you identify with. Because I would probably, if I was leaning bottom, which would be shocking to a lot of people.
Surprising.
People would be really surprised if I leaned towards the bottom. But if I was leaning bottom and I chose the bottom cup, but I wasn't prepped and ready, that's gonna throw that person off the top off.
Well, yes, yeah. Especially with Mount Vesuvius happening recently. I shouldn't make
light
of the Pompeii incident.
I shouldn't make light of Pompeii.
No, not right
because
now.
I will absolutely.
What were you about to say?
Oh my God. I'm happy I stopped it. But all I was going to say, what did the residue leave? A cast, like a plaster or something? Yeah, I'd plaster that dick.
Why did you continue saying it? What made you want to keep going?
Sometimes I just genuinely can't be stopped.
You can't be stopped.
Yeah.
So how do you feel about...
And this is what's so hard about choosing cutouts for an episode, because I'm like, how did I get there?
Right.
How did I get there?
Right.
Is that the clip that I want people to see?
Well, that's what shocks me. Like, why the hell did you pick that clip about you getting acid reflux to the point of medical emergency? And why was that the lead post? I was like, that's shocking. That's like, I wouldn't even pick that because I wouldn't want to throw Andrew under the bus like that.
Out my acid reflux. Because people are listening anyway. You know what I mean? And if that is something that gets one person, maybe it turned a few people off, and that's okay.
Maybe it got a few people to go to the hospital.
Yes.
Didn't get you, not good enough for you, but maybe
Well, I'm going to the gastro soon.
You're right.
You know, and that's so fine.
So what is something you learned this year, Andrew?
I think this year I'm learning what I want.
Whoa.
And who I am.
And can you give me a few examples of that?
Yeah, I think that like I can recognize that I'm a people pleaser and I say yes to a lot of things, but I also can recognize that I like that. I like to say yes to things and I want to do these things because that is who I inherently am.
Yes.
And that is okay.
Yes.
And I think I can recognize that I surround myself with different groups of people. Everybody is a little bit different, but I can't allow myself to take on the interests of others and let it affect how I view myself.
And what the hell does that mean?
Like even with like the travel thing, right? Like I can travel well with others, but like I'm a doer. I like to do as much shit as possible. If I could choose my day, I want to be out all day. I like that. Somebody can look at that and say, you don't give yourself a second.
Right.
And I might not, but at least I have enough seconds at night.
The random toe squeeze.
I'm like, it's like crazy. I forget my feet are on camera like nonstop now. It's so weird. But yeah, I definitely think I'm becoming okay with who I am in like certain contexts. What else did I learn this year?
That was a good one. I kind of want to dig more into that.
Yeah, let's dig.
So what you're saying is like you're recognizing that like the positives of people pleasing is saying yes to new experiences and new things. The negative might be that sometimes you end up in situations where you have to give your attention or take on a trait of someone else that you actually don't feel aligns with you at all.
Yes.
And what you're learning is that you can separate those two things.
Yes.
That's amazing.
And I really, really believe that I this year am showing up in situations more as myself and less as the mirror ball of myself.
Yes.
Because yes, I can reflect back to you whatever you're giving to me. That is a skill that also I think is improv, but it blurs the image, right? You're kind of like, people don't know who I am, and I think that was my struggle for a really long time. But now I always show up. I try to be positive. I try to be myself. And if I'm not feeling that tea that day, I'm not going to be like, whoa, let's get it. Before I was going to that one event, like I was still fine, but I wasn't like, yes, I'm having the best night of my life. I was just like, all right, I'm going.
Yeah.
I'm going to have a good time, but...
I also have to wonder if the inviting the different friends and stressing over that comes from like when you're hanging out with those friends, like you act like a different person.
Yeah.
So it is like, how do I Mrs. Doubtfire this situation where I have to be a grandma to someone and a dad to someone else, because now they're both in the same room.
Because you meet like, especially with the groups of friends, like I've met these groups of friends over different periods of my life and different years of my life. Some of them are really new friends that I've met in the past couple of months, and then some of them are friends who I've had for 10 years. So it's like they've seen my evolution, and like I think it's also interesting for friends who have been around for a really long time to see newer friends that are entering, to be like, okay, who is he aligning himself with now? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But not in a negative way. I just think it's like, I also am finding like the people that I do want to spend my time with, which is exciting as well. Who's to say what 29 is going to bring me? But if I have any idea, I think it's going to bring me a lot of travel, which I like. And I can realize it's not a form of escapism. It's a form of like just genuine interest in like learning about other cultures, seeing different places, and just eating a shit ton of food. And I'm not saying anymore that I'm trying to find a man. I need to be in a relationship. I need to do this. Because you know what? A man doesn't define me. A relationship doesn't define me. The relationship will find me when I am ready. When I am ready, that relationship will find me. So I'm not going to seek. I'm not gonna let it consume. I'm gonna have fun until the right person comes along. And I'm not gonna say my New Year's resolution or this year I wanna find a man, or my wish for myself for Christmas or whatever is to get a boyfriend. Because I've said that before on this podcast. I have. And that's something that keeps me up at night. Because I allowed how I viewed myself to be defined by trying to find a partner. No, I'm okay with myself because I know who I am and I know what I want. I might not know everything that I want, but I'm getting there. And that's called evolution of life. That's called aging. Okay? So as I age, I continue to grow and I continue to learn. And I'm excited for the year 29. I think it will bring me a lot of happiness and hopefully peace. I don't even know how I got there.
My question is like, why did it get very spiteful towards the end?
Yeah,
there was a nasty energy.
Yeah.
Like it was beautiful. What you just said was actually very beautiful.
Thank you.
And I think actually like a huge character progression for you as a person. I just was there at some point it became very pointed.
I think it became, honestly, if I can look back on that, what just happened, because I wasn't really even cognizant of what I was saying. I was letting the words come out of me.
That's evolution of self.
That was evolution of self. Like,
yeah, we weren't expecting to hear that today.
Sometimes I hit like spoken word, like something's going on.
Right.
But I will say, I think I started getting spiteful because I started feeling
the emotions
that I have felt. When you can recognize that that's how you led your life, or you can recognize that those moments like were all consuming, and you felt like you didn't really know who you were. I think that was my whole thing. It was like, even with like internet or whatever, like I'm taking a beat. I'm like, I'm recognizing what I want and who I am. And I'm finding a lot of peace in that. I've actually felt a lot less anxious about certain situations and certain things that I do, because I'm allowing myself to, you know, sit with what feels good for me. So yes.
Wow.
Thank you.
That's amazing.
But yeah, back to the birthday. Yeah, I've never really celebrated my birthday. I always wanted like Joe to plan my birthday, and then I realized I burden others. Like, and that's the last thing.
That's not true at all. You really don't do that. That's like kind of like not at all what you do.
But you don't feel
remotely.
And that's when like even friends like step forward and they're like, "Oh my God, let me do something. Let me plan something." And then I'm like, "Why?" Like, no, because then you're taking on the stress. I can only assume
but
I would feel
planning. I don't feel stress planning things. I love hosting parties. I love bringing people together. Like, do you know what I mean? Some people enjoy
love hosting parties. I guess I don't know what it. I don't know, because I also like hosting things, but it like I think back to Shelter Island. You know, I put that together, and then I was sick, and then it affected it. You know, it's like those are the little things. I need everything to go perfect.
Yeah,
that's what it is. It's the perfectionist.
Well, I know how you feel, and also like I remember feeling that way a lot in like my mid-20s. I think it had to do with weed for me though. It was when I was high, like I would feel really, really, really concerned that people weren't having a good time, and that would like ruin experiences because I was so hyper vigilant of like, okay, is like Mallory getting along with Rachel? Like, are people talking? Like, how do I fix this? How do I fix this vibe? But it's like actually, it's like literally just it's not your job. Like, I get like there as a host, you want to set a tone. I think all you can do as a host is set a tone. Yeah. And that's just showing up and saying we're gonna have a good time. And then if people like choose to fuck with that vibe, that's their issue. Yeah.
If people aren't having a good time and they're making that energy known, that's more about what they're dealing with than like me.
And like I think as we're getting older, it's also like, okay, like if you are feeling shitty, if you aren't in the vibe, go home, leave. Yeah. Like literally leave. Like you don't have to be here. No one's obligated to be somewhere if you're like not gonna provide like a genuine vibe.
You're so right. Yes. Well, yes. Okay, well, I'm excited for this year's birthday. I'm getting cake. I'm getting 2 cakes. 1 cake from Gabby Scalzo. She's a friend. She is a confidant. And she's an amazing baker.
She really is.
And I'm excited. It's going to be an olive oil cake with this strawberry preserve and a lemon buttercream. It's going to be delicious. It's going to be blue. There's going to be blue elements there. Some cherries on there. It's going to be gorgeous. Second cake. Saint Street Cakes. Morgan, she is pumping out cakes for SNL, for Olivia Rodrigo, for different huge events. And listen, I'm very excited. I don't know what that one's gonna be. I don't know. Something's coming over me. Chocolate. I'm not a big chocolate person, but something hit me. I was gonna do almond, but then I thought Caroline
can't have almonds.
She can't have almonds.
Yeah.
And that actually, that
ruined.
It didn't ruin Ed Caroline.
Like
if you're
ruined your
listening.
day, not
yes,
like as in like the idea of Caroline not being able to have cake.
Yeah,
ruined,
ruin my day.
not being able to get
because what I love to do, especially when it's centered around food, is like I want people to experience that cake and be like, "Whoa, this is a really good cake," and that's something that you can chat about. Right. Yes, this is a good cake. I couldn't chat about it with Caroline, and she's somebody who I love to talk about food with,
especially cakes. Never forget the wedding cake incident.
Her wedding cake, her cake gate,
cake
was
crazy,
insane. I wish we could dive deeper into Cake Gate for Caroline's wedding, but
we need her on the Patreon to explain it. Yeah, that killed me.
That was too much. That was too much. Should I like? And then another thing, another stressor for my birthday. What am I gonna wear? What am I gonna wear? Why do I think like this?
I don't know. It's like kind of like it actually must be exhausting.
It's exhausting. It's exhausting, and that's why sometimes I just give up.
Why don't you just wear this? Like, this is cute. Do you know what I mean?
No, because I've worn this before.
So you have to buy a whole new outfit for your birthday?
Yes, I feel like I've always set that precedent for some weird reason. I've always wanted to buy a new outfit.
As someone who buys a new outfit to go down the fucking street, the one situation where I actually don't is a birthday. Like, I usually don't think about that. It's like, why do you need that? Are you going to post an Instagram? No, you're not.
Maybe
you're not. Like, you won't. Like, there are people who have birthday parties because like they want to put on their sparkly outfit and take a picture in front of their cake and post it immediately. Like, that's not really your vibe remotely.
No.
So why do you need a new outfit?
To feel good.
Okay, but you have a lot of clothes that you do like look good on you.
I think that like I have this thing lately with clothes. I'm having this thing lately with clothes, Joe.
Mm-hmm. Can you say the word one more time?
I'm having this thing lately with clothes. And I just feel like my wardrobe is now older. It's older. It's been seasoned. I don't feel good in the clothes anymore necessarily. It just feels like I'm wearing them because I have them and I would like something new. I'm craving something new for myself. And I don't know what that feeling is. I can't pinpoint it. That's why I was like, I'm going to buzz my head. Like, I need something new. And why do I say need? Why am I saying the word need?
I worry that you're like over intellectualizing your life in the current moment. I feel like it's becoming like everything that you have said, you have then contradicted and been like, and why am I saying that?
Yeah. It's like I'm therapy.
Sometimes you could want a new, sometimes like on the contrary, you could just want to buy a new outfit.
Yeah.
Like, you could just want like a wardrobe refresh. It's the season's changing. I think a lot of people do want that. I actually apologize for putting on to you that it would be strange to get a new outfit. Because it is very normal to get a new outfit for a birthday.
Wow,
so
you're actually...
I'm kind of... No, see, no, you're not. Like, I'm so afraid to say anything.
It is really putting it into context for me because, yeah. But that's... Can you understand? No, it's going to get scary. This episode's going to get scary.
It's been scary in some ways.
Can you understand? I'm experiencing a lot of internal dialogues here.
Yes.
I'm going back and forth like it's a 2-character series.
Yeah.
Like it's maybe happy ending on Broadway.
What the hell that is.
I
just think that you can allow yourself to do whatever the fuck you want without having to justify it or to shame it. Like, you can just want to throw a birthday party or not, and either option is fine. You could want again to buy an outfit or not, either option is fine. You could want to shave your head or not, either option is fine. Like, I feel like it's like there's a lot of psychoanalyzing that I think is maybe like just undue burden onto you.
Yeah.
You could, like, you know what I mean?
There's been definitely emphasis on the psycho. No, but there is definitely a lot of psychoanalysis. I think that's like why when I'm in therapy, it's so like, you are very self-aware. I'm like, no, because all I'm thinking about is,
whoa. Oh my God. He was going to say, all I'm thinking about is myself.
Whoa. It's crazy. Braids are nuts.
That was crazy. That was like a tea breakthrough moment. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like I'm really in therapy.
That was tea.
Well, I get that too. I mean, it's like, I think it's also unfair, but I feel like a lot of people pleasing is like, it's like, the person you're pleasing is yourself, because you want to make sure everyone likes you and everyone enjoys being around you and no one's mad at you, because it's like the top priority is like, how can everyone in this room love me?
Yeah. And then, like, again, in any context, it always comes back to self. So then you are psychoanalyzing the environment that you're in and, like, how that conversation affected them, but also
their perception
of you.
Yeah. Not actually them at all, but how
their
they
perception.
see you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whoa.
The mirror ball is actually working.
Yeah.
The opposite way.
Yeah, it's coming right back to me.
Yeah.
It's reflecting. It's a boomerang.
Yeah.
It's like JoJo Siwa.
It's like a house of mirrors.
Yeah, it's a house of mirrors. Holy shit. I didn't think I was going to have this breakthrough on my birthday episode.
I wasn't expecting any of this.
I didn't think that the birthday episode was going to be like this, Joe.
I didn't know. I certainly didn't. I thought it would be like, okay, like I went to, like thought we were going to talk about gymnastics parties, honestly, again.
Let's do it.
No, I mean,
Let's
now it
pivot.
feels crazy to pivot in that way. It feels like we've entered a deep, dark hole.
You want to talk about last year's birthday?
When I was sick? I think we have.
Okay, then I don't know. Then my rooftop birthdays were glorious. I love the spring, but I hate the spring at the same time, because the allergies affect me on my birthday. Although I will say that this year, I have no plans for my actual birthday. So when you're listening to this episode, I don't have any plans. But I like it that way, because last year I took myself to get that scallion pancake, bacon, egg, and cheese from Winsun Bakery. It was the first food review video I've ever done. Wow, that's been a year. Whoa. Wow. It's nice to treat yourself on your birthday, though. What am I going to do this year? Maybe I'll skydive.
What? Where?
Long Island, although. Remember that one time someone died?
Yeah, skydiving doesn't really seem like a great idea, period. Maybe indoor skydiving, JoJo Siwa vibes, to bring her back up again. She loves that shit.
I could indoor skydive.
You would love that shit. I feel like JoJo Siwa, the Jonas Brothers, and you all have that in common.
Would you want to go to like a trampoline place with me?
Yeah, I would do that. I love to bounce.
Oh, I should have had my... Here I go. I was going to say I should have had my birthday at a bouncy house. Still could with an intimate group of friends. Also could just be post-birthday. We can just say, hey, let's go on a trampoline.
Yeah.
I would like to flip. You think I'd snap? You think I'd
Your
snap
neck.
something? Yeah.
I hope not.
Me too. Gymnastics birthday. You think this year I can learn how to do a round off back handspring?
Yeah.
Or am I past that?
No, you can definitely do that.
Are you just saying that because you feel like something like went on this episode?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
you have to,
I am
give
feeling
the
a little
affirmation?
nervous, but other than that, I also do think that you have the body and the build to be a gymnast. Like, I do think you could do that.
Okay. And I think
the determination and willpower.
All it takes, I think, is confidence.
And yeah.
And that's it's getting there. I would say I'm at like 78%.
Confident?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Pretty good.
That's pretty amazing, yeah.
But 22% is holding me back from getting to be able to flip.
Yeah.
I can't even do a cartwheel.
Okay, so what you're thinking is for this year, you're going to learn how to do a cartwheel and then progress to a round off back handspring.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because like, what do I have to learn? The round off?
And the back handspring part. And the handspring and then the back handspring.
But I feel like if you're just like already doing a round, like back and front, like it's like whatever. It's like, might as well just flip backwards. I don't think I have to learn the front flip to learn the back.
Maybe. I don't know. I'm not actually shockingly not very well versed in gymnast.
You're not well versed
In what is it?
Gymnastics.
Yeah. See,
You were gonna say I'm not well versed in gymnasts.
Yeah.
Am I? If you want to change the tone, you let me know. you ask a question. You ask a question that's gonna change that tone. I'll change it.
What's your birthday wish?
I'm like, to be in a relationship. I'm kidding. My birthday wish this year is Just to be with the people that I love, and to have a good time. I don't think I have any like wish for this next year. Again, it's like still self-discovery time. I'm reflecting a lot on my past. I'm reflecting a lot on the 20s, and I can recognize like it is crazy to think that like 24 we moved into Brooklyn. It still feels so recent, but like I can recognize that there has been so much change that has happened. Which is really wild to think about. I came out this decade, like, which was only 6 years ago at this point. Also crazy to think about. But my birthday wish, is just to enjoy the people that, like, I have chosen to surround myself with. And, like, they're all in my life and I'm in their life for a specific reason. And it's just a celebration. I would like this year to, like, keep the people that I really, really, really want close to me. And, I love meeting new people, but I think I can't have 35 best friends. And I think that I go into that like, I want to be your best friend. And I think I say that to people when I meet them in the first place.
When you meet people, you say, I want to be your best friend.
I'm like, are we best friends?
Yeah, you do that.
You know? And then they're like, wait, I think we're best friends. I'm like, no, shut the fuck up. We're best. So that's something I want to change for this year, for sure. Because then it sets the precedent. It's a precedent that I don't need to set.
How's that sock looking? Not bad. Not bad.
Not bad. It's actually like I've been doing pretty well with my socks. I'll tell you though.
I was just checking the socks. Just seeing if those are my socks.
Are they?
I think so. I actually think they're Ross's socks. Unless you also bought those socks.
No.
They're Ross's socks.
Love that.
That's crazy. How did you even come across them is my question.
So the thing is, it's like they were in my laundry. So maybe they were like left over in the dryer when I put my wet in the dryer.
Okay.
And then I found them in my drawer. And I said, what? These polo socks?
And they're literally Ross's, yeah.
And they're two opposites.
That's crazy.
Wait, me and Joe are in the same socks and they're not even mine. Just goes to show.
Anything can happen.
Anything can happen.
Anything can happen.
Anything can happen when you're
What
29.
would you say to your 19-year-old self?
That's loaded.
Yeah, I know.
Whoa. Because, oh my God. 19, I was really lost.
Yeah.
I was
really, everyone has said 19.
Yeah, everyone is really lost when they're 19. I think I would say to myself, like, everything is gonna be okay, right? Like, I know that's pretty cliche to say, but everything is gonna be okay. Like, you are going to be comfortable with yourself. Like, you are going to, because at that time when I was 19, I had no prospect of coming out. Like, I genuinely thought I was going to, like, be able to be straight my entire life, or like pretend to be straight my entire life. I was definitely drinking a lot. That's just college, but it was also like, what were you escaping vibes? Also was going to school for finance. So like, I had all of these things lined up for me that I thought was going to happen. But I would tell myself, girl, give yourself a break. Like, you're gonna be okay. Don't be so hard on yourself. School is not that serious. Being gay is not that serious. Well, it is, but yeah, a lot of light, a lot of love on the other side. And to also think, like, in this context of the podcast, like, I never thought I would be influencing anybody, even if it's not like influencer on the internet. I never thought that I would be that person that people could look to help them, like, come out or be more comfortable or be more confident or do something with fitness or like have that food or what. Like, I never thought I would be that resource for people. I always thought I was going to be, like, at that time, behind a desk making a lot of money and going to church, probably. Church, mama boots. Like, I was...
Shut the fuck up. What does that even mean?
That's insane. I was, you know what I mean? I was still in the chapel choir at that time. I was still finding my purpose and finding myself. I was on Catholic retreats, you know, like up until I was 22, you know? So like, Mama Boots, I was lost, but now I'm found.
Amazing grace.
Amazing grace.
Amazing
and that
grace.
10 years, that's amazing grace.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what would you tell your 19-year-old self? I know it's not your birthday until August, but that doesn't matter. What would you tell your 19-year-old self?
I think I would really emphasize, like, it's okay to be earnest and it's okay to like things, and actually, like, the more you lean into the things that you actually genuinely enjoy and the less you pay attention to the things that you hate, like, the happier you'll feel and the better your life is. Like, I feel like that was my main curse through my teens and 20s, was just caring so much about the shit that actually did not serve me. And like the sarcasm, which it's still deep within me, but it's just less like deep. It's less sinister than it was. But I feel like all of the time I spent hating shit and worrying about shit that had nothing to do with me, like, just wasn't a valuable use of my time. And the fact that now I'm almost 30 and I'm still trying to undo that energy is crazy. Obviously it was a defense mechanism, but I think it's just like telling myself, like, you're safe to be yourself.
Yeah.
Like, you're safe you can actually just act the way you want to act, care about the shit you want to care about, and like it's not, you don't have to hide all of that.
No.
And I think that was definitely my 20s.
And I think too, like, it's okay to disagree. Like, it's okay to disagree. It's okay to say to somebody, like, that's not for me. But then to not be like, but I hate you for it, or I hate that you like that, or like judge something. But like, I think that you at this point have gotten, like, genuinely, you have made so much progress in that area. And I think that you're like, that's just aging.
Yeah.
It's just growing. Yeah. Interesting. The earnest part is definitely, I think that is something that is just aging too. It's like when you have conversations with people, allowing yourself also vulnerability. I think allowing yourself to be serious and be vulnerable and not always be a character. Sometimes I felt like I was always a character, or like, yeah, maybe you're not doing well, and then you can reflect in your voice, as opposed to being like, are you kidding? Like, always being the character of yourself is sometimes really tough.
Yeah.
Puppet on a string, I like to call it.
Who's pulling the strings?
That's a good question. Who is pulling the strings? Who is pulling the strings?
You're the one who brought this up.
Society. Well, because I was high the other night and I was in my bathroom with a Post Malone type beat. Because when I go to that's my space. That's my space to sing, is the bathroom. I don't know if that's like directly. Can you hear everything in there?
I can hear that.
Oh, well, for multiple reasons. Thank God. Am I right? You have to hear. You don't have to hear that march. The marches in there. But I put a Post Malone type beat on there, and then I started freestyling, and Puppet on a String came out of my mouth, and I was saying to myself, sometimes I feel like I'm a puppet on a string, but now you're putting in context, who's pulling the strings? I'll have to think about that. I'll get back to you. I don't know where that came out of me when I was high. Puppet on a string. Who's pulling the strings? Here I go again. And here I go again, and away we go.
It's the next week of your life.
It's the next week of my life is deciding who the puppet on the string is. Good children to the guidance office.
Hi, boys. My question is something very, like, intimate. I am 27 years old, and I am still a virgin, or however you want to word that. I have never had sex, whatever. And I know it's not that big a deal, but at this point it just has felt like such a big deal that it's never going to happen, or I'm never even going to allow it to happen because I have so much pressure on it, and it just really scares me. I don't know. And I'm just like Andrew. I've also been single for so long. So I don't really know what to do. I don't know. I'm starting to feel like an incel. It's making me feel a little uncomfortable with myself, and it is something that, I want to explore and get to know about myself, because at 27, it feels wrong that I haven't. But anyway, trying to keep this under a minute and a half. So love you, boys. Thank you. Bye.
I want to immediately clarify that me and Andrew are laughing at that. Just like Andrew's, I've been single for so long, and not the rest of that voicemail at all.
I love that is what I have given. That's all I give. First of all, there is nothing wrong with still being a virgin at 27 years old. I think that is something that like society will make you feel, or even sometimes I'm sure we share stories that like you might not be able to inherently resonate with, but I don't think that should make you feel any shame for the point that you are at in your life.
Like, you get it. Obviously, you're saying that it actually doesn't matter, but it just eventually it does to you, and that's all that matters, actually. I think primarily your relationship to your body is solely yours. You get to decide when you want to do what you want to do. You actually, for sure, if you want to get laid, could get laid. It's actually not a complicated process, and you seem like a normal adult. Like, you don't seem like an incel. It doesn't seem like you have like any like there's like you seem like you can definitely go on a date and go home with somebody and have sex that night. Like, that seems
from just the way that you speak, like the way that you can hold a conversation from what we can analyze.
You're a very normal, rational person.
Yes.
So that's not the problem. It's definitely more, I feel like, of a mental, emotional.
It's a mental, emotional, I can only assume like a comfort thing. And I think that maybe that's the layer of like the people that you're going on dates with. Maybe you don't feel necessarily comfortable with them.
Yeah.
Like, I do imagine, I think back to the first time that I hooked up with somebody or like had sex, like I was throwing myself into really uncomfortable situations to like then allow myself to feel comfort. But I think from your angle, it's like you are building it up to like find a person who you can feel comfortable with, and you know what makes you feel good. So it's like, I wouldn't even get wrapped up in the anxiety of like the moment and the sex and the everything, because as long as you feel confident with yourself and like know what feels good to you, you're gonna have a great time, right? Like, it's
or you're not.
Yeah,
that's the thing. That's like part of it is it's so quick. Like my first several times having sex, like processing like this thing that I thought was gonna feel so out of my body and so different ended up just being, I think I've said this before, it's like having a conversation in some ways. Like, it's like there's definitely like, you definitely can elevate it from a conversation. It could be a great conversation, but ultimately like you're there, you're in your head, you're going to be in your head the whole time, especially when you're losing your virginity, and then you're going to be done and you're going to go home that night and you're going to order food. Like, like it's not like this
or you can stay over,
but like it is like a blip. Like, it's literally just that.
Yeah.
And so I think it seems much more consequential when you've never done it, but ultimately it really is a journey you take with yourself more than it is you take it with another person.
Yeah.
When you're like losing your virginity, it really is like you and yourself, and then like the power tool you're using to do the job. But you'll always, no matter what, go home with yourself, be able to think about it with yourself, and be able to process it with yourself and decide, was that fun? Did I enjoy that? What would I do differently next time? Who would it be next time? Like, that's a fully like up to you. Yeah. And I think that definitely freaked me out for a little bit. It just felt like a lack of control,
Yeah, it is definitely a lack of control. But like where your first steps are, you don't know what they are. Like, put yourself out there, whether that's, the apps are sometimes not helpful, but like you don't have to measure it in like, I'm going on a date because I need to have sex tonight. Like, like it could be like you're going on a date, you're having a conversation, you just talk to us, like I would talk to you for 2 hours. You know what I mean? Like, you can talk to somebody for 2 hours, and maybe that's four times talking to them before you feel comfortable doing something.
Yeah.
Release the expectations.
I think that you're right. It is just like, don't go into the date with the intention of sex. Try your best not to think about it. But if it happens, it happens. But I think the only way it's going to happen is if you do go on a date. If you do, like, make sure you have to put yourself out there.
Yeah.
And I know, again, from experience, how scary it is when you're like kind of afraid of having sex, like going on the date feels, because you're like, now I'm going to have to, what if this happens tonight? Like, yeah. But it's like, that's what you want, actually. So fearing that or like combating that is just only going to delay like a long process of a long journey. And like the other crazy thing is like you could be leaving this voicemail right now and in a year you could have had sex with 15 people and been fine with it. You could listen to this in a week and a half and be like, oh my God, I don't recognize that person who was fearing this thing that actually wasn't that bad. So just do it, I guess, or don't, but do whatever you feel comfortable with. Also, maybe it's not for you. You don't know.
Maybe it's not.
Yeah. Asexuality, even just sexuality, who knows? If you don't feel compelled. Yeah. It also could be like you're not interested.
Period.
You know what I mean?
I know what you mean. I'm interested.
I'm tired of rumors starting. My rumor this week is the book Selamlik by Khaled Al-Esmail. It is a book that I picked up because it looked horny, okay? It is a very sexy bear's torso on the cover, and he's like gripping a towel, and you could like see bulge. And I was like... I picked up the book, read the back. It was about hammam bathhouse cruising in Damascus. And I was like, absolutely, I can't wait to read this. This is going to be so horny and amazing. And it's actually about the Syrian civil war and a gay man's experience becoming a asylum seeker in Sweden throughout like a 15-year timeline. It is one of the bleakest things I've ever read. It is incredibly moving and beautifully written and tragic and upsetting. And I think if you're a gay man who enjoys the privileges of your life, you should read it and really like remind yourself of what we're so lucky to have currently, especially as I think LGBTQIA rights, specifically trans rights, are under the attack. I think that we need to really look around the world at other people and just get a grip on the collective community. And this book is a really good way of just getting an insight into a world that I did not know existed until I read it, which is just a sign of a bubble. Heartbreaking, gorgeous, devastating. If you're looking to expand your horizons, if you're looking to learn while you read, I highly recommend it.
Okay. Wow. Mine is definitely not as deep. It's gonna be because I'm looking at it as well, but and I don't think we've talked about. Have we talked about nowadays on this pod? Listen, you guys, I don't know if you're well at this point. I'm kind of leaning right back into the stoner era, huh? But I will say sometimes edibles freak me out. But I mean, we've talked about bits before. I love my bits edibles because they're lower dose. But nowadays it's a drinkable edible, which you can like make it into a cocktail. You can combine it with alcohol. You can just like sip on it. And it's a really nice high when you're watching things. I will say I sipped a little bit the other night and I watched Life or Something Like It for the first time with Angelina Jolie. Okay. 2002 it came out. Okay. It was on the roundup of Netflix for the top 10, number 2. So I said, you know what? I like a nostalgic movie. She's looking like Marilyn Monroe. I had an amazing time. I didn't look at my phone once, which I've been struggling with my ADHD lately and just not being able to focus on things. For some reason, the nowadays hitting while I was watching a nostalgic movie had me really zoned in the entire time. So I would say give it a try. It's a nice little sip. You can either choose I think it's 2 milligrams or 6 milligrams.
And they have cherry flavor.
And they have cherry flavor now.
Which I'm very excited to try.
Yeah, I might almost take a sip of that one tonight. But yeah, I would say that's my Ruma.
And just like that. Thank you so much for watching this week's episode. Don't forget to do your homework.
Like, comment, subscribe, rate, review. Send us a nice little something. I see the reviews going up on Spotify all the time, which is really nice. We're 500 reviews away from 10,000.
Whoa.
From double digits.
Whoa.
Yeah, we have 9.5 thousand 5-star reviews, which is insane to think
That's
about.
Crazy.
Let's hit 10,000. You know what I mean? Why not? Fuck it. Am I right? And don't forget, you can follow us across all social media platforms at Good Children Pod. I'm on Instagram at Andrew Muscarella, on TikTok at Andrew_Muskie.
I'm on Instagram at Joe Hegyes and on TikTok at Be Quiet Joe. And we have a Patreon. $7 a month, you get access to a brand new bonus video / audio episode every single Thursday at 8 p.m. EST, where we pull back the curtain even more and pull back the foreskin sometimes. So feel free to check it out. You get really intimate looks into our lives. You can find it at the link in our bio.
And with that being said, Joe, do you have anything that you want to say to me or like
Oh my God,
sing
Andrew,
to
happy
me?
birthday.
Okay, thank you so much.
Happy birthday.
Thank you so much.
Sorry, I'm going to miss it. I'm going to be at
Charlie
Brat
XCX.
concert. Yeah.
Yeah, Joe's going to miss my birthday this year.
Well, only the birthday. Only the real one. Not the
Only the
birthday party.
only the real one. You're right. No, it's going to be great. Well, hopefully, fingers crossed, you're not feeling sick.
Yeah.
Well.
Yeah. Okay. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Mr. Muscarella. Happy birthday to you. Garrett, come sign off.
Garrett, come
sign
over
off on the
here.
actual pod.
Garrett, come over
guys,
here.
this
Take a
is our
seat.
other roommate.
Take a seat.
This is Garrett.
Hi, Garrett.
Hi, you guys. Nice to meet you all. Happy birthday, Andrew.
Thank you so much.
Are you excited to celebrate Andrew's birthday?
Yes. You said you're not going to be here for it?
For the actual birthday, April 30th, I'm going to be at the Brat concert.
That's right. I do remember that.
Are you going to be here for it, Garrett?
Yes.
Thank God, because things could have got really scary.
All right.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.